Hello and welcome to the next YouTube video on my channel. Today I will talk about the beginning of the chess game, also called the debut. I will show you the debut strategy and I will also explain you the transition into the middle game. So let's get started. Playing the opening and the transition stage into the middle game is the most complicated process in the game of chess. Nowadays, the most flexible way of game development is considered to be the deployment of forces taking into account the chess time, space, and the specific situation. It is not just a question of quick mobilization of the pieces and pawns in the opening, but also about their logical interaction with the purpose of attacking a particular object. Therefore, for example, the timely conquest of a strong chessboard square is often more important than the development of several chess pieces. Making the arrangement of forces in the direction of the main strike stronger, just at the expense of the formation of some weaknesses, corresponds to modern views on the opening strategy. The assumptions for a future strategic plan begin to emerge already in the opening of a chess game. The strongest chess players make opening moves considering or taking into account the possibilities of the following middle game and end game. And now I will show you some signs determining the stage of transition from the opening, or also called the debut, into the middle game. The first point is the implementation of a plan aimed to the plan to conquer lots of chess space. So for example chess squares, but it can of course also be open files. We do this to get the initiative of the game by limiting the mobility of our opponent's chess pieces and by weakening his position. My second point are the active actions of both of the chess players, or in some cases also only of one of the players. Both armies have to develop the logical interaction of their chess pieces and their pawns at the same time, and at the same time they have to disrupt the interaction of the opponent's forces and chess pieces. And my third and also last point is that in practice it is often used to focus on the theoretically developed middle game position, which is characterized of a particular opening. So now we will analyze a very interesting chess game. That's a game from 1961 between the Russian chess grandmaster and the 6th world champion Botvinnik and the 8th world champion Tal. The game between both of the chess players started with pawn to c4, pretty rare move, but that's the English opening. Now the opponent, so the player who plays the black chess pieces, answered with knight to f6. This is the Anglo-Indian defense of the English opening, and now the game continues with knight to c3, pawn to e6 and pawn to d4. This is now the key, or also called the main move of the Indian defense. Here the player who plays the black chess pieces continues now with bishop to b4, pinning our knight here, or the knight of the white army, now here on c3, and therefore white plays pawn to a3 to get the bishop here now away from itself. Tal decided here not to move away with the now attacked bishop, but to rather trade the light chess pieces. So he takes now Botvinnik's knight on c3, and Botvinnik obviously takes back with his b-pawn. Now he has this interesting pawn structure here on the queen side of the chessboard. The player who plays the black chess pieces continues now with pawn to b6, preparing a fianchetto on the queen side of the chessboard, so he's preparing to bring his bishop now on b7. But the white army does not want the black army to do this. Therefore they play pawn to f3, blocking or making this diagonal of the bishop who will get there smaller, and with this move he also prevents the black knight on f6 to get on either e4 or on g4. Pretty interesting and also pretty strong move. But Tal therefore didn't move his bishop here behind his b6 pawn on b7 with a fianchetto, but he rather moved the bishop on a6, also attacking the very weak c4 square where white has a doubled pawn. White just defends their pawn pretty aggressively by occupying the center of the chessboard with pawn to e4, opening this diagonal for the king's bishop here to defend this pawn, and the black player SchachRomatt continues with pawn to d5, pretty aggressive now. So the last two moves of the black army, bishop to a6 and pawn to d5, present the beginning and also the following development of the plan of the black army's attacks during the transition from the debut into the middle game. That the bishop moved on a6 and not with the fianchetto on b7 is part of the plan of Tal here in this position, because this move organizes a logical impact on the very weak c4 square of the white army. So the last move, pawn to d5, is also a preparing move for the attack, because the c4 square is very weak here for the white army. Therefore the black army will attack this square in the transition from the debut into the middle game. Botvinnik answers on black's pawn move d5 and tries to get the initiative in the game with a very brave and strategic plan. By giving away a castling in this game, he decides to completely occupy the center of the chessboard and focus his middle game on it. Therefore the game, after black playing pawn to d5, continues with the white army taking out black's pawn on d5 with this c-pawn. Here the opponent, so Tal, obviously trades the bishop to not allow the white army to do the castling anymore in this game. So black takes out here the bishop and we capture back with our king, not being able to do the castling anymore in this game. So after this bishop trade has been fulfilled, the black army takes out the pawn here with the e-pawn obviously, and now Botvinnik continues with bishop to g5, pinning black's knight here on f6. So this last move that Botvinnik played, so bishop to g5, pinning black's knight here on f6, was at the time, so in 1961, a completely new innovation in the theory of the debuts. Before this game, so before in the history of chess, lots of chess players were guided by the game between Lilienthal, a Hungarian chess grandmaster, and Steiner, a Hungarian and American chess player. In the game between these two guys, the battle of the game now continued with the white army not playing bishop to g5, but rather pawn to e5. But here, Botvinnik played now bishop to g5, and with this move, Botvinnik achieved that there's still tension in the center of the chessboard with all these pawns here with this move, but he also played a game-deciding move with this move. Therefore, this move is the transition from the debut into the middle game. So this was then already with this video in which I have shown you debut strategy, and I have shown you when the game goes or where there's a transition from the debut of the chess game, so from the opening into the middle game. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till next time, bye.